Mr. Speaker, I like listening to the good doctor and Senator for Kakamega. But Mr. Speaker, you know, sometimes he confuses us. Right now, he talked about the issue place, Mr. Speaker. So I don't know which is the issue place. It can be a bullfighting field, Mr. Speaker. It can be a bar. For me, issue place is the church. So I didn't know what he meant.
Mr. Speaker, that is frivolous. But all the same, I want to advise the young senator that when you will come of age, you will discover that people of adult age tend to sit in certain places in the evening so as to compare the greatness of their minds. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is because of that principle of supply and demand, the economist was telling me, that we are finding it difficult and finding the dollar very expensive. I'm hoping that he was right. Soon, the depreciation of our shilling will slow down. And I've been following it. I follow it every day. It used to appreciate from the time we took over government. It was appreciating sometimes by 20 shillings, sometimes by 5 shillings, like that. But now it has gone down. In the last 3 weeks, Mr. Speaker, it has been depreciating by cents. Today it was at 0.6. Before we went for weekend, it was at 0.5. Earlier on, it was 0.3. So we're doing well. And we would like to encourage Kenyans that you allow the things that the president spoke to, that we put in place for us to ensure that our country recovers. And by the way, my dear colleagues, able friends from the opposition, we gave you a chance to tell Kenyans how you'd fix it. And you told us we were not doing it well. What were we doing? We were giving cheaper fertilizer. Now down from 7,000 to 2,500. And you told us that could not be the magic bullet. We said beat. So you called big rallies. And I want to thank you for standing down your rallies. And your idea of lowering the food prices was putting cooking pots and sufurias on your heads. That kind of science, as a scientific mind, I can only relate it to mental illness. How on earth? It is not possible. If that is how we are going to teach our children at home, then we might as well outlaw education in this country. Mr. Speaker, the president, therefore, deserves our kudos for his commitment to our citizens. That was not only limited to that, but he also spoke to his commitment to the citizens' freedoms. His commitment, Mr. Speaker, to fundamental rights, and his commitment, Mr. Speaker, to democracy. Nothing is more important. Those of us who exercise fierce independence of mind, we do it because that has been our life, and we have decided that is our life. Young senator from Migori, at the age of 22, at the University of Nairobi, before I was discontinued, we poured into the streets of Nairobi because Khamenei had been detained. We poured into the streets of Nairobi at that time, Mr. Speaker, because Jaramogi Oginga Odinga had been put under house arrest somewhere in Bondo or his Kisumu house. The youth leader is here, Senator Siaya will confirm. We poured into the streets. We poured into the streets, Mr. Speaker, because George Kidhi, the editor general of the Standard newspaper, had been detained at the age of 22. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, I and others, we were discontinued from the University of Nairobi. So, because we believed in those things then, I don't see how I can lose sight of the fact that people paid, including Kenneth Matiba, including Martin Shikuku, including John Maria Serone, who were detained because of defending the freedom of speech. Nobody should ever deny a politician or any other Kenyan the freedom to speak. I therefore want to use this platform this afternoon, Mr. Speaker, to condemn the violence that was visited on the Orange Democratic Movement Member of Parliament of Mumias East constituency by the governor of Kakamega because he was not comfortable with the speech of that MP. The MP belongs to DAP. That's what you wanted to correct me. And the governor with bad manners belongs to ODM. Mr. Speaker, we must condemn this. People must speak. How can you stop people from speaking? Mr. Speaker, the issue of freedom of speech is so fundamental that I have been arraigned in court in this country because of your debate. Relax.
What is the point of order, Senator Eddy?
Mr. Speaker, I'm on a point of order on relevance. Mr. Speaker, the majority whip has been invited into this house on this floor to move a motion on the State of National Address by His Excellency William RUTO, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenyan Defense Forces. Mr. Speaker, is Senator Boni in order to use this precious time of this wonderful house to discuss village politics and bullfighting? You know, Mr. Speaker, it's very disappointing because focus on what the president say. If you cannot understand what the president said or you don't have the confidence in defending it, then just sit down. The members of the house will help you because you're even confusing the entire nation.
Senator Eddy, what is your